You are about to witness history in the making.
Hi guys, welcome to another Pop Culture Gamers podcast. It's episode 30, believe it or not. We've done 30 of them, Christ. I'm your host for this evening, Steve, and of course Haydn's alongside me. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you, Steve.
Good. I do sound a bit dreary and down, but it's just the way it is at the minute. Coming towards Christmas and not enough time for everything, I think. So, how you been? What you been up to, pal? A lot?
Not really, to be quite honest. Not much support at all. Just been doing sort of like policy and project work stuff at work.
Yeah.
I've been looking at an ultra widescreen monitor. Is one of the things I've been doing because obviously it's been Black Friday. So I've been looking at one from LG. So it's only a 1080p widescreen, and it's only like it's a small one, but it'll fit in keeping with my other two sort of 21-inch monitors, so they'll all be about the same height, which is what I was after, because I did think, do I want a bigger monitor? And then I thought, well, actually, I've got very limited space on my desk, and I still want the three screens, but I wanted a wider central screen so that it was, gave more, sort of like sight in games, because you get a better effect.
Would you want to have three the same, though, if you know what I mean? Or would it look a bit odd like that, with one wide one and two?
I wouldn't have the space. I wouldn't have the space. You'd be talking about you'd need like 6 foot width to fit these monitors on. I just don't have that sort of space. I've got 4 foot if I'm lucky. So, or 5 foot maybe. So it's just sort of, just to give that central one, because what I tend not to do nowadays is play 3 screens. Because what I tend to do is have Netflix or something on one screen and maybe Facebook or something on the other.
Okay.
So I just play on the one screen. So I thought, well, let's get an ultra wide screen monitor. So it's 2560 by 1080 screen resolution. So it'll give a nice, widescreen or ultra widescreen aspect to it.
Yeah.
So that's that. Also, sorted out a couple of Christmas presents for me.
Is that what people you've asked to get for you, or?
It's what people have asked to get for me. So for Christmas, I'm going to be having the Matrix trilogy and also the Dark Knight trilogy on 4K.
Oh, nice. Didn't you already get the Matrix already in 4K?
I got the Matrix, not the trilogy.
Oh,
so I'm going to sell the Matrix and just, have the trilogy as a box set.
I might have to pick that up off you then, actually.
Yeah,
because I don't have it, do I? So the trilogy's not my favourite, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But just to have the main film's enough for me, so I'll have to pinch it off you at some point.
Right, okay.
What
else? So went in HMV at Harrogate, picked up a couple of things. They Live, The Fog, the Dan Brown movies, and also Rampage.
Oh, Rampage being the gorilla film.
Yeah, the one with The Rock.
Yeah, and Dan Brown, is that 3 movies or 2?
3,
isn't it?
Yeah, 3, because it's Angel and Demons, The Da Vinci Code, and Inferno.
Yeah, they're all good movies, actually, to be honest.
Yeah, they are. So, they're only Blu-ray. They're not 4K, but I'm not really bothered about that, to be honest. I want the type, my main sort of films in 4K Ultra HD, but they're not, so I'm quite happy to go down lower standard on that.
Any particular reason why? Because I would have thought now that, well, I understand if it's an old film and you're just picking up an old Blu-ray, but if there's a new version of one coming out, you might go for the 4K version.
Yeah, I probably will do for the majority of the films, but in terms of They Live and The Fog, I wasn't that bothered. I've got
But they're remasters as well. They've actually
I know.
cleaned up the print and all sorts for that.
I know, but I've got the Escape from New York 4K coming.
Yes, I got my email this morning saying it's on its way.
I haven't had that yet.
Oh, have you?
No, and I've ordered from Amazon as well. But
Oh,
Amazon
sure.
have been late for me because they haven't delivered my monitor either.
Mm.
And I was supposed to have by now.
Well, just on that, I mean, my missus had a product being delivered yesterday. It's a soup maker.
Okay.
So you throw your vegetables into or whatever you want for the soup, and it will churn it and heat it up and cook it and make it in one tub.
You're going to have to give me the details of that because my wife's into making her own soup at the moment.
Because they're just good for calorie content and
Yeah, of course she's on Slimming World, so
with that, and she said, "Oh, I just got an email from Amazon." I said, "What's that then?" Because I just want to say that. Do you know what? It's funny. It was one of those days where we didn't do anything all day long. We stayed in, and so in the morning I was playing Destiny all morning till about 2:00. So it's quiet, and then I let the missus take over the TV, and I watched Grey's Anatomy for 6 hours.
nice.
It was mental. But anyway, a phone went saying that an email said that we couldn't deliver because you weren't in. I said, "What the fuck are you talking about?" So I said, "No, give me a phone." So I went on the app on her phone and said, "Right, hold on, you're gonna speak to someone? No, you don't. No, it's your account. You've got to speak to them." So you can go on the app and you can get a customer service.
Yeah.
And within that, you can get them to ring you.
Yes.
And you say what the product's about. So I did that, gave it to her, and she started chatting away at them. And they got the courier to come back and drop it off.
Nice.
Because we didn't see an envelope through the door. Yoda would have barked. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So obviously, because yesterday was really a dreary day outside. It was tipping with rain. I just reckon he couldn't be asked to get out of the car myself. Because if he'd knocked on the door, Yoda would have barked, and we were in all day long. We hadn't been anywhere. So Amazon can be funny like that.
Yeah, sometimes they are, but normally they're all right.
Yeah. But then I said, look, they'll sort you out. You phone them up and they'll do what they can to help you out.
Yeah.
So they got the guy to come back the same day. So it came later in the evening. So So what? Anything else?
No, not really. Just other than that, been playing a bit of Destiny 2 on the PC. Just getting through the Forsaken.
I know. Yeah, whatever.
Because
I'm a solo player in Destiny now, aren't I? So
well, so am I at the moment. But I've also been playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Origins as well.
Oh, have you really been overdosing on that, have you?
I have. I'm really getting there now. As a matter of fact, I'm 98% of the way through all of the story content.
Yeah. You won't have any Assassin's Creed now, other than the remaster, to play for over a year as they're not releasing this.
Well, I'll have 2 remasters next year. And I haven't never finished off Rogue. And I've also never finished off Unity or Syndicate.
Oh, okay.
So I'll have loads.
Yeah. That's weird.
Yeah.
I just got an email from Amazon. Just look at my email from Amazon. I've got it, it's on its way. But they're now saying it won't be here till Tuesday.
Or your Escape from New York.
Oh, then it says arriving tomorrow by 11 p.m.
Yeah, so does mine. I've just checked the app.
It's just stupid. Why say Tuesday when it says tomorrow? Does that make sense, does it?
No. But they're not guaranteeing that you get it within 24 hours now, are they? Because I've had so many problems.
Yeah, probably that, I can see, yeah. But it's no big deal.
No, but when you pay for a service that they're supposed to guarantee at this point of sign up that that's what they were giving you, they should be giving you it, shouldn't they?
Yeah, true.
It's not like they're not making enough.
I could have a little whine if you don't turn up.
Yeah.
Because they've been too bad to be of late. They've sort of, they really try to help me in issues where there's been issues.
I mean, most of the stuff that I buy nowadays, I buy through Amazon. And it's to the point of they said, are you actually buying for a business? Do you want a business account? Okay, I have been spending too much money there then.
Yeah. So,
What about you, Steve? Anyway, what's happened with you?
Well, so really not a lot, but I had a day off this week.
Yes.
Well, the day off turned into a day at the hospital. Because originally I was going to be taking the missus she's getting her eyes dilated, so she won't be able to drive.
Uh-huh.
But we had a couple of things to do, so I ended up probably being out until about 3:30 that day. So my day off turned out to be an afternoon off. But it's all right. I needed to take her to the hospital and get things done, and no one else could have done it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So where duty calls, you get on with it. Black Friday, yeah. So you did. So did you actually purchase anything for Black Friday at all, or not?
The monitor.
Just the monitor. Okay.
Yeah, I got 60, 70 quid off.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I picked up Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and it ended up costing me 17 quid.
That's not too bad.
So they were doing it for half price, but I didn't realise I had 10 quid's worth of Microsoft rewards points sitting in my Xbox.
Yeah.
So, when you go to redeem them,
yeah,
it said something like, redeem for £10 for
11,000.
11,000.
You do the drop down and it says redeem for 8,000 on the drop down for £10.
What's all that about?
I don't know. I really don't. I think it's probably hoping that you don't notice it.
So I did it for that, and I'm nearly going up to another 8, so I'll be able to do it again soon.
Well, to be honest, I don't know whether or not it's a limited offer, because it was reminding me I need to go on and redeem it because I can redeem 20 quid.
Yeah. So that was it. So I think Tomb Raider was, if you wanted to get it on Black Friday, was 27 quid.
Yeah.
So I got me 10 quid off, so it cost me 17. So not that I've got time to play at the minute.
Well, I mean, you've still got Red Dead as well, haven't you? Well,
I'm halfway through that, and I say this week I've been playing Destiny 2 and Fallout 76, so he's not enough hours in the day.
This is what I don't get, right? You're now playing Fallout. Well, you're playing Destiny 2, but you've got Tomb Raider and Fallout and Red Dead.
Yeah.
What's that about?
I know. It's mental, isn't it?
Anyway, we're going into the gaming section. We're not even in the gaming section yet, are we?
So I picked that up. So also Waxworks Records were doing a Black Friday deal, and they were repressing some of their soundtracks.
Yeah.
And I kept tweeting them, please let it be Dawn of the Dead. Please let it be Dawn of the Dead. And I got a winky wink from them on Twitter. So I thought, this could be it. And then I saw the email saying that it was going to be coming out. You can start getting your orders from midnight in America. And that was midnight Central Time, they call it.
Yeah.
So I Googled it, and that means 6 o'clock a.m.
here
in the morning. So I got up just before 6 o'clock. I went on there, and it said sold out. I went, what? So I did a not happy face to Twitter, and I got in the car at then 7 o'clock to go to work. I had another quick look, and it was there. So I reckon there were somewhere, Google was an hour out. Must have been.
Did you take into account the changes for British or Greenwich Mean Time to British Summer Time?
Well, do you know what? You think Google get it right when you're just asking at this time of the month?
Well, you would have thought so.
Yeah. So, but I was really chuffed, though, because I've been really after this. I do have the original pressing, but there's not as many tracks as they got on this expanded soundtrack, so it's a double album. So,
did you see the link that I sent you for Iron Man, the soundtrack?
Yes, a gold one, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought that was right up your street.
Yeah, I wonder if it's the same colour as my Wonder Woman soundtrack, because that's a gold one.
Yeah. Well, if it's gold, and that the other one's gold, yeah, I would say they probably are the same colour. As in gold.
No, there could be different colours of gold.
There could be different shit. Yeah, I know. I was being facetious.
Yeah, I know. Different variants. Do you know what I mean? So I did see that. But the missus said, what do you want for Christmas? And I haven't had a thought yet. So I might go down the vinyl route for Christmas. Because there's nothing I really want for gaming at the moment.
No.
Although,
really.
do you know what I wouldn't say? It might be, we can talk about it now because I haven't got it anyway. What do you reckon to that new VR game on PlayStation, the Saber lightsabers?
Beat Saber.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm intending on getting it for Christmas.
It's 24 quid, isn't it? Something like that.
No, it's 15.
Is it?
Sure it is.
No. You'll have to check that out. But I saw a bit of it on video, and they were doing the Bohemian Rhapsody track.
Yeah. I forgot to mention something. I've been to see Bohemian Rhapsody.
I know, that's why I said it. Was it good?
I'll talk about it later.
Anyway, I'm sure there's other things we want to talk about. We're going to sort of wait for other parts of the sections to come along. So, should we skip straight to
Gaming this week?
Looks like, well, yeah. Okay, go for it.
No longer a dream, but a reality.
Okay, so no news this week.
No, I didn't have any. Did you?
No, I've not really seen much going on at the moment, to be honest.
It just all seems to have been about Black Friday this week.
Yeah, and all right, there's been a little bit of slagging off Fallout 76, even though I've seen some good reports from it. So when we talk about that, we'll be talking about Marmite, really, won't we?
Yeah, but I must admit, when all of these, I've been seeing all of these reports about saying about this game's broken and how can they release this game in such a state, I thought, normal Bethesda release then.
Yeah, that's true. But this will be, will be an evolving game, so...
Yeah.
Anyway, do you want to do the new releases?
Okay, so new releases this week. We have on the 27th Darksiders 3 on PS4, Xbox and PC. We have Sprinters Mudrunner on the Switch. We have This War of Mine Complete Edition on the Switch. Ark Survive and Evolve on the Switch from the 30th. Also from the 30th, Asterix and Obelisk XXL2, PS4, Xbox One, Switch. Psychedelia of Ashen Hawk on a Vita. Wow, Vita game. Well, hey. Psychedelia of the Black Butterfly on a Vita. Ride 3, PS4, Xbox and PC. And the Council Complete Edition, PS4 and Xbox One. I quite like the look of that, the Council.
Don't know much about that one, to be honest.
I think it's sort of like a Telltale, but with better graphics, sort of thing. I might be wrong, but from the video clips I've seen of it, that's sort of what it looks like.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that we've had all the big releases, haven't we? I think the last one to come out would be Just Cause 3, wasn't it? 4. Sorry.
I thought there was another one. We've had Battlefield 5.
Yeah. Well, that's been a deadpan as well, isn't it? So.
Yeah, well, it's something about half of the modes are missing or something, isn't it? I'd heard someone talking about.
It looks good visually, give it that.
Yeah, well, I think it was always going to, though, wasn't it? The Battlefield games have always looked really good. But I must admit, in terms, I never used to be a Battlefield fan until Battlefield 1, and I just absolutely loved that game. Personally, but I just thought it really brought home war very well. But I want to try Battlefield 5. I should really get it on the EA Pass.
Well, I've got 10 hours.
That's what I was thinking as well. I was thinking should try it on there and see how it is.
Yeah. Give it a go. Okay, shall I? Let's go to the video charts then. So, from 5, or shall I say, was that 5? From 5, from 3 down to 5. Yep. It's FIFA 19. I tell you, you want to get a bigger screen for this. I can't read these.
Zoom in. New entry at 4. We have.
So we've got Pokemon Let's Go with Pikachu. In at 3, we got Fallout 76. From 1 down to 2, we got Red Dead Redemption 2. And in at number 1, Spyro. The Recontained Trilogy, really?
Reignited Trilogy, yeah. Well, there's a lot of love for Spyro. I was talking to Adam, who works in my local Tesco. He's one of our members. And he was saying he's just bought his girlfriend an Xbox One for Christmas. Wish I could buy my wife an Xbox One for Christmas. But
she wouldn't use it.
She wouldn't. But if I could get away with it, not that I need another one, but he's bought one of those for his girlfriend, and he's got Spyro's Reignited trilogy for that as well. So that's quite cool.
I mean, I did play a bit of that back in the day. But I think that's where that sort of game I'd leave, to be honest.
Well, I think this is cashing in on the same as the Crash Bandicoot sort of thing as well.
Yeah, but I would rather, if they're going to do that, they should bring out Crash Team Racing. I mean, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I love. Give us an online Crash Bandicoot racing game. That'd be fun. With all those original levels with the shortcuts and that, that'd be cool.
I never played it, to be honest, so...
Oh, I loved it. It's really good. Anyway,
we don't know Games of Gold or Plus because they've not been announced.
No, do you think they're going to wait a little bit because it's sort of near Christmas?
It's normally in the next week, isn't it? I mean, there's only a few more days, so they're going to have to tell us soon.
Well, we've got another week of November, haven't we?
Yeah.
So we're sort of looking, probably by the next show, we'll probably hear.
Yeah, but on the weekend, it's the new ones, isn't it?
Yeah.
It should be the new ones.
That's right. But, okay. So, should we swiftly move on to our gaming as we already tried to get into it earlier? Yeah. Okay, so before we go into all your Assassin's Creed stuff, I'll do my little bit because I haven't got a great deal there.
Okay.
In my list. So you've been moaning at me for playing Destiny 2.
I haven't been moaning at you for playing Destiny 2.
No, off air, we were just talking. Come on.
All right, anyway, you are always playing it, Steve.
Yeah. So
we were supposed to do a team Ghost Recon with Alan, weren't we? When you went and played Destiny 2.
Well, no one told me about it. Anyway, so Destiny 2 Season 4 finishes next week. I think it's finishing on the Tuesday, which would be the sort of the reset date.
Yeah.
Hence that I've been on Gambit, wanting to get to my legendary level, which is that'll get me all the way up to as far as I can before you do a reset. And I did that this afternoon and picked up a hand cannon, the Trust hand cannon, which I've already got, but this gives you a Masterworks version of it. So it's fully Masterworked up, looks pretty cool. And that was pretty good. I do enjoy that mode. You haven't played it, or maybe you have not really gone into it, but I think it's one of the best modes I've played in Destiny.
No, I haven't played it, to be honest.
And because it's a multiplayer game, but it's not like it doesn't feel too much of a multiplayer game. Even though there's 4 of you playing together, trying to spawn your primeval, and then you're seeing a member of their team come through the portal to try and take you out, and you're taking them out. I just think it's a great, great mode. Really good fun to play. So I did that this afternoon. Also, I finished off 2 exotic quests. I did the Thunderlord quest, which I soloed, and it was... I think they should do more of this. I was so pleased for the last part of the quest to be transported back to Russia at the very beginning of Destiny 1, where you got all those rusty cars. Do you remember when you first find your ghost? So that's where you do the last part of that quest. You go to where that is and you go into the building like you do for the start of the game. Yeah. And when you get to the end of that sort of level of walking where you get the hole in the wall where the creature comes out, and then you should then fly off in your ship. But that's as far as it goes, and you battle these 2 big bosses in there. But I think they should do more of that sort of stuff. I think that was really a nice touch.
Well, all of the models are there, aren't they? They just need to wrap a bit of gameplay around it.
Yeah, I mean, what they've done is they put snow on this, so it was slightly different.
Mm-hmm.
But it was really good, and the Thunderlord does kick ass. It's such a good gun to use. Whether it's supposed to be that overpowering, I don't know, but it is it come out at 600 as well on the. Actually, no, didn't it come out 593 for me because I was close to at the time.
Yeah.
So that was that. Also, I did another quest which I completed, which gave me the Chaperone shotgun, and I finally got the quest for this hand cannon. And this hand cannon what it is in Gambit, when you're playing the game, you get to spawn your primeval, and randomly you will see a servitor from the story, the big meatball, as I'll call it, as a lot of people do, and that will spawn instead. And if you kill that in time, you then get dropped with this other exotic quest.
Right.
And I picked that up last night, and I've been waiting for that for donkeys. It's random. It's so random. It can be hours, it can be minutes when you pick it up from playing Gambit. So really cool to get that. And that quest starts off in. I've got to go to another part of the Destiny to deal with that. But I'm glad to pick that one up. So yeah, it's been all really good, and obviously with the season 5 round the corner, and in December we've got some DLC kicking in. So
that'll be when I'll start picking it up again.
Yeah. Well, you should. Well, yeah, okay. So for everyone that don't have the annual pass, there'll be Season of the Forge. So what we'll have the event, which is the Dawning. So we'll have Heavy Machine Gun return, new weapons, new Crucible content, Iron Banner, gameplay updates, and the seasonal ranks. Those with the pass, we will get Black Armory. Now this, discover weapons of the Light and Fury, add the Black Armory treasure to your legend. You get access to the Black Armory, new forges of the chain activity, new raid lair, new exotics, new legendaries, new triumphs and collections, and bonus rewards. So be looking forward to that when that kicks in. There should be a doc coming up, hopefully from Bungie regarding all this, so I'll keep an eye out for that at some point.
Yeah.
So Destiny's all good. It's still kicking in. And then we got spring and all summer with this same roadmap at the moment, and then they're going to attach another year to that by the sounds of it.
Yeah, so we're not seeing Destiny 3?
Not yet. Don't think so. Not for maybe another year.
Well, that would fit the model of the first one, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and it'd be interesting. But yeah, no, just my multiplayer game is still Destiny, and it'd be nice to see anyone jump on with me. But fire teams have been a bit lacking of late.
Hint, hint.
Haydn.
I'll get back to it as soon as the DLC drops.
And you'll say, why didn't I go for this? Well, you didn't do it in the last season,
I'm not too bothered.
No, but it's Anyway, so obviously we did the Stanley last week and been a bit busy with call-outs, so I have dabbled in a game called Fallout 76.
Yes.
And I've been listening to the reviews, and they've been a bit up and a bit down. Some people hate it, some people like it. I did get to play some of the beta. Not a lot, because actually when I did boot this up, it did bring that character back in, but I deleted it and started from scratch.
So has it changed much from the beta?
Not really. From the bit I played, I was just doing like a walkthrough to do certain quests, which was a bit of a tag along to tell you where to go, do this, do that. Sort of get you into the feel of things for the game. Yeah. And I know we haven't got NPCs in the game. Although we've got robots that will give you quests, we've got holotapes and stuff like that, which you do progress for the story. Yeah. And in the middle of that, you do get these events that will pop up that you can join in with as well. I am enjoying it. It's not what everyone's wanted out of an online Fallout, because it does feel a little bit sparse. But I have been enjoying it, and not like for some of us, this game seems to have gone down in price from the sound of things at the moment.
Well, yeah, because I saw it earlier this week on CD keys for 49% off.
Yeah. So people that might be interested might actually have a dabble in this. I do like the game. It's great to be in the Fallout universe. So I will be progressing with the game. I've only got to level 8. I'm still doing some of the training at the moment. Just getting to grips with how it's slightly different from the Fallout 4 game, with how you're using your character.
Yeah.
And I do die quite a little bit. I've been keeping my camp intact with me, because you can leave your camp somewhere, or you can then bring it back with you for 5 caps and then move it again. But at the moment, where I haven't got so much great stuff that I want to start building a proper camp yet, I just tag it along just so I've got my chest with me, because I'm always overcome collecting all this stuff. People think it's just a collecting game now as well. But it's like, I know there's a few people out there playing it. There's my daughter's boyfriend's playing it on PC. He's absolutely loving it. So there are people out there that are really enjoying it. Just a shame it's got a bit of a bad press. It's
a Bethesda game, though. I mean, with all joking aside, sort of like they always release broken games and then fix them afterwards.
Yeah, but I think the biggest thing was about having NPCs in the game, wasn't it?
Yeah,
having actually human beings, as in forgetting the the other players in the game on the server.
Well, that was the whole point, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I did for some reason I did get a wanted sticker on me. I shot something that put me on as a bounty for 20 caps, so I was hunted down by these guys. Yeah. And I've been a good boy since then. But most people I've actually come across have been pretty nice, and they didn't just come along and shoot you. And I found quite a few high players in the game as well. So there are people that are actually hammering this game and enjoying it. So all I can say is that I think in a year's time, we may be talking about this game a bit differently.
It's early days. It's like Destiny, isn't it? If you think about it, because it's Destiny starts off and then it just grows over time. And I think that Fallout 76 is going to be exactly the same.
Yeah, because when I thought I just thought out of curiosity, I'd throw on the Elder Scrolls game online, booted that up, and there's people everywhere running around being nuts. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there is a market for this game. It just depends how Bethesda deal with it and put it into place. So we might even see you on board then, Haydn, eh?
I don't think so. Not on Fallout. It's just not my bag.
No.
At all. I'm not going to fall for the hype this time.
It's not more about hype, though, is it?
No, but when it was Fallout 4, it was definitely about hype.
Yeah. I can understand that. But Fallout 4 is a great game, though. And just a little bit of a shame that the way it went, really.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think just having a quick brief look at my activity on Xbox to just double check a few things that I haven't missed anything. I think that's all I've been really playing. I did pop on to PlayStation just to have a look at something, but other than that, I did pop into Red Dead. And the only thing we did play is we had the family around last weekend because it was my daughter's birthday. Yeah. So everyone said, let's play that quiz time game on the Xbox. So we all played that for an evening, which is always good fun.
Definitely.
And I need to try probably over Christmas the PlayStation version of there's something different they got, It's Knowledge game.
Yeah, well, not only that, but I think we should have a go one night as well on the Jackbox ones, because you don't need to be able to see the screen because it comes up on your mobile.
Oh, right.
So all that you do is need to connect to a game, because that's part of the selling point for it, is that you can play with anybody anywhere. So might be worth having just a bit of a laugh.
Yeah. Okay, so let's swing into your stuff. You're going to start with Shadow of the Tomb Raider, so obviously don't tell me too much.
Okay. She dies in the end.
Oh,
said joke, man.
No, mate, I've got to say this quickly because I've been watching Grey's Anatomy, and we're up to season 9, believe it or not, out of 15, and it was the first episode of season 9, and Camilla Luddington's first entrance into the program, and obviously she plays Lara Croft in these Tomb Raider games. She just looks like, I think it's Lara. Look who it is in a doctor's outfit.
So that was all your fantasies all in one.
It was, wasn't it? Yeah. I said to her, let me know what goes on, because I want how's Jo getting on? Because she's watching it now while I'm doing this. So crazy. Anyway, so what's it been like?
I spent a few hours in there. It's amazing how quickly I'd forgotten, like, the simple controls, like trying to recraft arrows. Because it is a bit waffy in it, I think. Rather than just...
Well, you've been playing so much Assassin's Creed.
I have.
It's probably,
Yeah, I have, definitely.
That ain't helped.
No, definitely not, because I've just got completely Assassin's Creed muscle memory now. But yeah, revisited the game, been quite enjoying it as a story. In terms of it, not really sure what it is, but I think for me, the last couple of Tomb Raider games, this one and the previous one, just haven't blown me away quite as much as Tomb Raider. You know, that one that was released, the first one in this new style. Because that one, I absolutely loved. I played it on every format I could possibly get it on. I played it on 360, I played it on One, I played it on PlayStation, I played it on PC. But in terms of this version, or the last couple, I prefer Shadow of the Tomb Raider definitely over the previous one. But it's still not just grabbing me quite as much. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? But I think you'll really enjoy it because I think you prefer the franchise to me anyway.
Oh, I've loved it so far. I mean, I really enjoyed the last game. Did all the DLC for that as well.
And the visuals of it are absolutely superb.
Really, yeah.
You know, as a game, the game looks beautiful, don't you think?
Oh, I do. I mean, I just briefly put it on for 10 minutes out of curiosity, and I went to because I heard when I saw some streams of it, it looks a bit ropey. So I didn't think it was obviously the streaming of it, but Xbox is the place to play it at the moment anyway. So
until PlayStation leaps forward with the better viewers again. And then,
actually, there's a bit of news we didn't mention.
Go on, Ed.
Oh, sorry to cut you off. PlayStation will not be at E3 next year.
Yes, we mentioned this last week, didn't we?
Did we?
I'm sure that we did. Not last week, the week before. Because I joked on because when that was announced, I'd said it wasn't exclusive enough. As a joke for George. Remember, it was last week because we did it in the questions. Because George raised a question for us last week. So hi George, if you're listening. So because George always puts on exclusive when anything's to do with PlayStation, even if it's not exclusive. Especially for those exclusives that are no longer exclusive and properly Xbox exclusive now. Hellblade, for example.
I know we're going to talk about. We'll have a question about this later on. I'm going to cut you off here, but did you see the trailer, obviously, for Lion King?
Yes, and the joke that someone's put down as well. So they're like. More live action sort of view of it is Xbox
because they
One
obviously
X
they have what you originally saw when I first saw it was they showed you the cartoon trailer and the new live action trailer side by side and played them exactly at the same time. But then on this, they put the PlayStation logo above the cartoon version and the live action one is above the Xbox One X.
Yes, I saw that.
It's very amusing, I must admit, but.
It is, but only if you're an Xbox One.
No, I just find it amazing that people can really have a bit of a beef about it, but it was just amusing because there's so much we saw with Red Dead and everything else as well. But I
have to admit, to be honest though, the whole console war, it's just so boring and passé now. You're still going on about it. Really, it's like we're nearly the end of this generation. Let's just be happy with what we've got.
Yeah.
If you think you made a mistake, sell what you've got and go and get the other one. Stop moaning about it. But anyway.
Anyway, do you want to carry on? Sorry.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that there's some innovative stuff in terms of this in the game. I like the idea of being able to, sort of like hide in the mud walls and stuff like that, which wasn't in the previous game that I remember. Looks absolutely fantastic, but it's not getting me in the way that I feel Tomb Raider should. And it's fast action and all of that sort of thing. Yeah,
well, you haven't finished the last one, had you? So I think,
I've got quite a good bit of the way through, and I've played it on two formats. So,
that's true.
So that's really all I've got to say about that. It's well worth the look. If you've enjoyed the last one, you'll really like this one because I think it is better, definitely. And it certainly looks better as well. Next one I'm going to go on to is Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So, I've been continuing to go through this game because, if you remember, a couple of weeks ago, I actually finished the campaign for the family story. But there is actually another campaign in the game as well, which is in relation to, well, it's a bit of a spoiler, but it's in relation to somewhere that you find in the game.
Okay.
I'm not going to go into what it was.
No, because we get grief over that.
But there's like two strands to the story. And as you know, it's always, part of the story is always about the people who were before humans in Assassin's Creed, because they're uncovering the technology. Yeah? So it's still that sort of thing in the game. And when you find this specific place, you go on to a whole new story arc. And it's a great story arc. And you fight creatures. Last week, I've been fighting like Medusa.
Yeah.
I fought two Cyclops, one of which is sort of like one that was like a challenge, and then the other one is one that was already hidden in the game that you had to find and you had to unlock through doing certain quests. A couple of weeks ago, I did a Phoenix. Sorry, not a Phoenix, a Sphinx, rather. And that one, you don't fight it, but you have to outwit it. And then the other one was a Minotaur. Yeah. And they're all quite tough fights when you're actually doing them. You know, these things have hellish health. You're talking about a 10-minute battle to get past them. And if you're like on Medusa, what happened to me, I literally had like 2 pixels of her health bar left, and she just caught me as I was rapidly pressing the button to restore my health. And I just thought, no! I had to go through the whole thing again. That was annoying. But I really enjoyed that sort of aspect of it, bringing that into the game. It was very clever the way that they did it. Really enjoyed all of that. But you have to do that as part of this other story arc. I'm trying to find all of the cultists. I think I've got 5 left to kill. Because there's a cult of Cosmos, which is one of the things in the game. And in order to complete one of the other story sides, because I've actually completed 2 of the story sides, and there's another one as well about the cult of Cosmos and killing all of them. And when you've killed all of them, you can upgrade your spear to the maximum level as well, because you have this special spear in the game. So I need to kill 5 more to get these drops that they do, though, so that I can go and then upgrade this spear, and then that's that storyline scene 2 as well. I mean, I've literally on this game, I have not enjoyed an Assassin's Creed as much as this since Assassin's Creed 2, and that's no word of a lie either. That's absolutely what they've done in this game is they've managed to give a really good cohesive story, and it's just such a pleasure to play. The visuals are stunning on whatever system that you're actually playing it on, and there's so much to do in the world. The map is absolutely massive. If you like the Black Flag battleship sort of, ship fighting, there's all of that in there as well. The only thing really is the lack of the hidden blade.
Oh, okay.
You're not getting that in the game at all. But this is pure sort of RPG kind of aspect, and there are certain things that you really need when you start getting your abilities, because every time you level up, you get an ability, and every time you find these special stones that are hidden underground in the world, you get another ability point. And there's 3 different branches. There's a hunter, there's a warrior, and there's an assassin as your branches that you can go off in. And depending upon how you want to play will depend upon what you need to level up. But there are some things that are absolute musts in there. Like, for example, one that's a shield breaker, because when you're fighting enemies with shields, they only have to hold it up and then you can't hit them, and then you've got to try and time it so that when they start to attack you, you attack them quicker, which isn't always really possible. So there's that. There is also the thing of there's like one where you do some sort of like ground slam, or like some lot of lightning ground slam, and then it just shoots everybody who's around you off, for ages, so that it gives you a bit of a clear space. So if you get surrounded by enemies who are all attacking you, bam, 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 you can shoot them out away from you and just give you a bit of room for a second to gather your thoughts. I only found that one after 80 hours. I thought I could have done with that earlier in the game. This makes it so much easier.
Yeah, but why did you should start it again?
Oh, God, no, I couldn't face that, I don't think. But I've done literally over 5 days gameplay on this now. And also they've updated the level cap, because the level cap of your character was level 70.
That's right.
Level 50, and it's now level 70. And bearing in mind, right, I've been completing quests and all of those sort of things that give you good XP, and I'm now level 56. Wow. It is so slow to level up later on. The higher up a level you get, the slower it goes. And I mean, literally to a absolute crawl's pace. It's a bit like, trying to crawl over, shattered glass while being attached to a bungee cord. Do you know what I mean? It's so slow. So try, the higher up the levels you get, the slower it's going to get. And all of the enemies level up with you as well. So at first you're fighting against level 1, level 2s. You don't see them ever again. Once you get to level 50, the enemies are level 47 to level 50. They're in that sort of bracket. So they're always really close to you. So although you're leveling up, you're getting more abilities, it's not super easy one hit and a down sort of situations. Which is good and bad, because sometimes you just wish that you could just go and one hit someone. But if you're sneaky, because the way to play this game, I think, is stealth. If you're sneaky and you can take out an enemy just by rushing up behind them and then killing them. But that doesn't always work, because just like in Origins, sometimes when you take someone or try to take someone down, you only take sort of like 75% of the health. So it leaves a little bit left, and if there's any left, then they shout, help, help, and all that sort of stuff, and then more guards come. So you've got to be selective in terms of when you do it. But there's equipment that, these, on your equipment, you can give them engravings, and the engravings give you power. So, for example, I've just got an engraving on one of my pieces of equipment where all of my arrows now pierce shields, which is quite useful.
That's handy.
Yeah. But the way to do it so that you, in terms of this as a game, is to try and link your play style with the engravings that are on your equipment. So, for example, if you use a lot of the overpowers, is to reduce the cost of the overpower so that it's only one bar on this one block on this bar that you actually build up, because the more that you attack someone, you build this little yellow bar up at the bottom of the screen, which is split into several different segments. Each segment is like one special attack, but some special attacks take 3 of those bars. But what you can do is, say, like an overpowered attack, which normally takes 3, you can put 2 pieces of equipment on, which says overpower attack is reduced by 1, so that you can just use the overpower attack straight away with 1 block. But you have to have the engravings on your equipment to do that, because it doesn't come by default. Right. Also, there's certain hidden chests in the area as well, and you've got to be like really late on, sort of like level 45, 46 for this. But there is, if you find it, there is Poseidon's spear, and what you can do with that is it gives you unlimited breathing time underwater.
That comes in handy,
It certainly does, because some of the underground caves where the underwater treasures are actually hidden are so complex to look around. I mean, really, really complex. It's very limited visibility, so you can't always see very well as well. I mean, what you can do is get your bird, your eagle, to scan the area and tell you where they are, but that doesn't always help you find the entrance to a cave, which could be quite a way away from where the actual treasure is. So it's quite complicated in terms of the way it plays like that. But that's part of the charm of the game as well, is it doesn't hand you it all on a plate.
No, I know, and I can't even remember how far I got. I did get a fair, I say not get a fair way into it. I did get a fair way into it that I was enjoying it, but something pulled me away. I can't remember what it was now.
Was it Red Dead Redemption by any chance?
No, I think it was before then. But, I will. I'll go back to it.
You definitely should. I mean, I'm 98% of the way through the campaign now. All of the story campaigns. Which is, a long, long time. You've done 32 hours on this game.
Have I?
Yeah, and you're level 13, and you're 24% of the way through the story.
I do a lot of running around. I thought, new place, wander off, let's have a look,
But you've got to do that because one of the achievements is unfogging all of Greece.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that's a heck of a size map to do that. And obviously you've got all of the synchronization points and stuff like that to do as well. So there's a lot to it, an awful lot to it.
Yeah.
But well worth it. For me, this could be Game of the Year.
Yeah, I can see that point from Emma, I can see your point of view.
Yeah. So this also, because I've completed most of the story, made me start thinking, do you know what? I never gave Assassin's Creed Origins that much of a play. I got to the second area, and that was it. Booted it up. I was in some area where it was everybody was level 40, level 50 characters, and mine was level 10. I thought, how on earth have I got here? So I quickly, fast travelled back to where I thought I should have been, and I've started, picking up the story there. And you can definitely see how they've innovated from the next one. But that's not to say that this one I haven't been quite enjoying. I quite like the character that was on this one. I mean, obviously this is the story about how the assassins were formed, whereas Odyssey is a prequel to all of that by however many years, I don't know how many, but different characters again. Because it's Greece. So, whereas Origins is Egypt.
Yeah.
So, but really good. Could just enjoyed going through that, and having that slightly different twist makes it feel fresh. But you don't have, in terms of the charge up bar, you don't have the same sort of bar with segments in on Origins. What you have is just one bar, so that quickly charges up about the same amount of speed as one of the blocks in the bar on Odyssey charges up. But then you can use it immediately, so it encourages you to use these overpowers of whatever it is as quickly as possible. So it's a different style of gameplay entirely there. The development tree for the RPG aspect is different as well. So, it's more interlinked. You have to have, you always have to have started off on one thing before you can open up another, whereas on the skill tree on Odyssey, you can just say, I want to try that one, and I want to try that one, and there's only 2 or 3 of the powers that you have to have unlocked at least level 1 on the one before you can do it.
Do you think they tweaked it for the better then between the two games, you think?
Yeah, definitely. Not that I think Origins is bad, but I think what they've done is an improvement on this version. So I'm really excited to see, year after next, what Assassin's Creed's going to look like. Because if they keep this quality up, they're going to have a hell of a game in 2020.
Yeah, it's a long way off though, isn't it?
It is. But what you got to remember is, the last time that Ubisoft had a break from Assassin's Creed. We had about 5 Assassin's Creed games in that year.
Yeah, so we overdosed even more then, didn't we?
Yeah. So let's hope that their break is probably like this. But obviously there's the Liberation and Assassin's Creed 3 that are released in March next year. The remasters. So there's those at least that I know of coming. So, and also all of the content on the season pass on Odyssey, which is great as well. So, because I've got that. So, more to come. And they're doing free DLC as well. It's not only paid for, there's also free stuff.
Yeah.
So, well worth it. But yeah, I mean, both of them are really good. Odyssey is definitely the better one, but, you know, if you like Assassin's Creed, well, you know, why haven't you played Origins at least by now? Because it's been out over a year.
That's true. So,
other game, been playing Destiny 2 on the PC. Or for the Forsaken, I should say, on the PC. Might not be outputting at 4K on my PC because I've just been playing it on a normal monitor. But the 60 frames per second makes it feel buttery smooth.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it is a noticeable difference.
I bet loading times are quicker, aren't they?
No, because a lot of it's connection to the server.
Because they're trying to fix that at the moment.
Yeah, because the connections to the server takes forever. Because
I turn Destiny on, I can go and make a cup of tea, come back, sit down, read the paper.
Yeah.
And then my character's on screen ready to enter. And then I'll wait another 5 minutes.
Yeah, then you go and write a book, go on holiday, come back.
Yeah.
Get a new kid, wait for it to go to school, then wait for it to go to university, come back, and then it's on, you know, floating around Earth.
So, yeah, it was a slight over exaggeration there from you, by the way.
Yeah, a slight, yeah. They only get to sixth form college.
Okay. So,
but yeah, I mean, in terms of it on a PC, there's a definite advantage to having it on the PC. It's more accurate. It's a lot more accurate to play the game because when you're using a mouse to aim, you don't need to do the zoom in.
No. You point and click, isn't it, really?
It is, yeah. And it's absolutely, well, just super slick. So yeah. I do hope that this is one of the games that Microsoft says, right, let's do PC and mouse support. I have a funny feeling they're not going to, though. And the reason why I'm saying that is because they have the exclusives with PlayStation.
I think where Sony hold the reins a little bit.
Yeah.
It's going to mean that Microsoft's hands will be tied a little bit on that.
Well, it's not them, it's the developer, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think Sony might still have a say in it.
Yeah, possibly.
It's them to shout out about it when something new comes out, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think it's a shame if they don't do it because, you know, playing it on the Xbox would be brilliant that way.
Yeah.
Personal opinion, but there we go. I think it would be much better than playing it just normally.
Excuse me.
So, yeah, not much more to say about it. It's Destiny 2, really. Okay. I did play one other game this week, which was a game called Stormboy. Looks very nice. Quite easy to play. Well, in a matter of fact, very easy to play. I would say 1 out of 10 in terms of difficulty level. And it's a indie game that is based around a book, and I believe it is a real book, and it's just a series of 9 sort of mini games, and they ain't that good, to be quite honest. So I would steer clear of it. It looks attractive, but that's about it. It's not it's not really an enjoyable game, so I wouldn't bother if you see Stormboy about.
Jolly good. Okay, right. Okay, shall we? If we're done there, then we'll move on to movies, TV streaming.
Yep.
In quest of a better life.
So, you've got a little bit of news this week.
Yes.
As it's Star Wars related, would you like to read it?
Why don't you do Star Wars now?
No, I don't do Star Wars. Star Trek.
Yeah. Anyway, so basically it's a couple of Star Wars 9 rumours, to be honest. So the release date is scheduled to be 19th of December 19.
Yeah.
In the UK, and the 20th of December in the US. Very rare that we get films before the America, but there we go. So according to IMDb and other sources, the cast includes Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Oscar Isaac, Adam Driver. No real surprises there. But also Carrie Fisher through unused footage. Mark Hamill is also back, and he's joined by Anthony Daniels and Billy D. Williams, as well as Richard E. Grant and Matt Smith, as in Doctor Who.
Yes, he did. Yes, because I did see something about that and on Twitter about that, saying that he's joined the cast.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I take it as it comes for Star Wars at the minute, because I'm sure I'll go and see it when it comes out, and hope it's better than the last one. That's all I say.
Well, I mean, to be quite honest, I could play an episode of Coronation Street and it'd be a better Star Wars movie than the last one.
Well, I don't know about Coronation Street, but there you go. So, moving on, you've got some future Stan Lee cameos confirmed. Now, they did say that he's already done a load already, isn't he?
Yeah,
So,
and he has. So he's got 5 cameos left that they've filmed. So those are Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which is like a cartoon Spider-Man. Captain Marvel, Avengers 4, Spider-Man Far From Home, and X-Men Dark Phoenix.
Yeah, there's quite a few there, isn't there? And seeing the list of what Marvel movies are coming out next year, they're going to be hogging it all again, aren't they? Well, should I say Disney movies? Yeah. That's what it's more likely going to be.
Well, we've got a question about Disney movies later.
With the release of Toy Story 4 and obviously now The Lion King, it's all...
There's got to be a Disney movie every other day.
It's a bit of deja vu here, I think.
But the irony of it is, there's not much this year.
Well, we are near the end of it.
No, I know, but what I mean is 2018, there's not been many Disney movies.
No.
When you look at next year, why don't they space them out a bit?
Because they want that peak viewing time of summer holidays with kids, don't they?
Yeah. Well, what about Christmas holidays?
Yeah, but then they got Star Wars coming out then, so they can't clash it too much, can they? I think.
No.
Anyway,
you going to do cinema releases?
Yes, I'll do that because it's at least one decent one out of that lot I can see. So we have 23rd of November. We have Nobody's Fall, Shoplifters, Assassination Nation, and Nativity Rocks, which I'm assuming is this year's Christmas movie.
I would say so.
On the 24th of November, we've got Pokemon the movie,
The Power of Us.
The Power of Us. Excuse me, I'm just trying to swallow them in
and
there.
when my son heard that was coming out, I know exactly what I'm going to see.
Really? Anyway, more importantly, 30th of November, we have Creed 2, Ralph Breaks the Internet, Roma, The Possession of Hannah Grace, Disobedience, 3 Identical Strangers, Anna and the Apocalypse, and The Wild Pear Tree. So, Creed 2 is the one for me, I'm afraid.
I think Ralph Breaks the Internet will be good for the family, if you've got a younger family.
Well, you see, I don't have that. I don't have that anymore. I don't have to worry about that sort of thing, so I can skip a lot of that these days.
No, but thinking about people with younger families, then
oh yeah, of course,
Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that'll be good.
But I'm really looking forward to Creed 2. I've looked at a few reviews, some favourable, some not. So, but again, it's what floats your boat there, I think.
Well, you got to make your own mind up at the end of the day, haven't you?
But it's still a Rocky movie to me, and that's all you need to know.
Well, it's got Rocky Balboa in it.
Yeah, it's still a Rocky movie then, isn't it? So even though it's called Creed.
2.
But it'd be nice to see Dolph Lundgren as well. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
It's all off the back of Rocky 3.
He seems to have aged better.
Who, Dolph Lundgren?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not bad. Actually.
He's actually
not bad at all.
matured, whereas Sylvester Stallone, bless him, I love Sylvester Stallone, but he kind of like looks like he's been left out in the rain.
Yeah. Did you see? I don't know where I posted. Did you see this little bit of video footage I got that showing you Dolph Lundgren and Sylvester Stallone filming a little fight sequence for the film?
No.
And they were doing their choreography of it and that to do their fight sequence. Yeah. They're getting old, but they do like to have a little bit of a scrap. There was a stunt. You could see the stunt man for Sylvester Stallone was there for probably maybe a tricky scene or something, but he likes to do it himself.
Yeah,
it's really good.
Oh, good on him.
So Blu-ray, let's say, and DVD releases. Would you like to? And I'll have my pick of those after what you come.
Okay, so there's a cast of thousands, as there always is with Blu-rays and DVDs.
Especially at Christmas, it's going to get even more, isn't it? I think.
Maybe so. But looking at it, the key ones that I think I've picked out here are Avengers 3 movie collection on 4K Blu-ray. I'm sure that that's already out because I'm sure I saw that in HMV at Harrogate.
Yeah.
Escape from New York, Blu-ray 4K and DVD. Looking forward to that one tomorrow.
Of course.
Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, and Mamma Mia 1 and 2, Blu-ray DVDs, saying that more for those of us who need to know what to buy the wives for Christmas. Space Precinct.
Remember that?
Yeah, vaguely I remember that, but not too much. But that's there as well. So, also Philadelphia 4K. Blu-ray DVD.
Is that the Tom Hanks film?
I think so, yeah, because otherwise it'd be the Philadelphia Experiment.
No. Yeah, that's it. So, can I pick some out there that you might have not mentioned?
Yep.
So, we have also got, if I can find it now, where were we looking now? I'm scrolling down. We've got Prince of Darkness, Blu-ray 4K, which is the other John Carpenter movie that's been released.
Yes.
And also we have, let's have a look. There's a certain film here from, it's going to be, off the top of my head, it's 1980. And that's called Gregory's Girl.
Oh, yes.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
With John Gordon Sinclair, Dee Hepburn, and Claire Grogan, who was with Awkward Images at the time.
Yeah.
And it's about these kids in their school life, and they're playing their football out there on the pitch, and this girl comes to join in with the team, and one of the guys starts to fall in love with her. It's a class movie. It reminds me of being at school at my age, at the tail end of before I left school.
Yeah,
sort of 1979, 1980. There's a lot of charm in that movie, and it was a British-backed movie that got a lot of things going for it. Not one of these Hollywood movies, but it's just got a nice lot of charm to it, I think. Mm. So I might actually have to. I do have a digital copy somewhere of that, but I may well pick up at some point. Okay, cinema charts. So in at 5. No, shall I say? Is it in at 5? I think it is, isn't it?
Well,
really say here.
We don't have the previous one, so.
Anyway, so at 5 we have A Star Is Born, which is the remake with Lady Gaga. We have Widows at 4, Bohemian Rhapsody at 3, The Grinch at 2, another Christmas movie, and what should be always a number 1 in November, has been for God knows how many years now, is a Harry Potter movie. So we've got Fantastic Beasts, The Crime of Grindelwald, which I've yet to see.
I want to see that as well, but I want to get my son seeing the last Grindelwald one as well.
Yeah, you should do. Yeah, absolutely.
So, DVD and Blu-ray charts. We have at number 5, staying in the same position, Avengers Infinity War. At number 4, down from 2, Solo, A Star Wars Story. At number 3, up from 6, Deadpool 2. At number 2, down from 1, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. And at number 1, straight in there, The Incredibles 2.
Another Disney movie.
Yes.
Have you seen the trailer for the soft version of Deadpool they're bringing out?
No.
Yeah, at Christmas. It's going to be slightly edited for children, if you know what I mean.
Slightly. So what you mean to do with the titles in the end?
Yeah, there's I can't remember what they called it now, but it's coming out. I saw the trailer. I don't think it was a joke. I think it was for real. But it's going to be a sort of not dumbed down, but it's going to be a bit more palatable for a little bit of a younger audience.
What, 17?
What? God knows. God knows. I haven't got a.
After having seen that film, I can't see without sort of like refilming the whole film what they're going to dumb down. To be quite honest with you,
I don't know. It's a bit funny now. I thought, well, maybe they were taking the mick. I don't know, but I might be wrong. I'd have to check that out and let you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what you've been watching? Mine is actually blank, but I have watched a couple of bits and pieces.
Well, go on. What have you watched?
So I got to the end of MasterChef Australia.
Okay.
Because that has been going on forever. And it's on every day for about God knows how long. It's really quite a long TV show from that sort of genre. And I still haven't got back to the Flash, Arrow, or Guardians. Not Guardians, sorry. Legends yet. I still haven't gone back to that yet. They are starting to pack up now in my little list on the hard drive at the moment.
Is that because you're losing interest a bit this season?
No, because I think it's that time of year now where, unfortunately, me introducing Grey's Anatomy to the missus some time ago. So that's been going on. We have had that. We have had, say, one of the cooking shows that we do like to sit and watch. But we've got I'm a Celebrity on at the moment. And love it or hate it, I'm loving it this year. I don't care what anyone says. Seeing an old Spurs manager in there, bless him, he's kicking on a bit now. But seeing John Barrowman as well, it's just hilarious, absolutely hilarious. I know it's probably not your cup of tea, or maybe the missus watches it, I don't know.
No, neither of us can stand it.
But John Barrowman, though, he's brilliant. I really do like him. And they're just coming across as really sort of the celebrities that they're all living together, obviously, in the jungle. They're all sort of gelling well together. And just hearing some of the stories and that, you know. So, yeah, it's good. Anyway, movies-wise, this week, I did go back and watch a couple of old movies, because I'm good at doing that. So, I watched John Landis's American Werewolf in London.
Classic film.
Oh, great, fantastic movie. And also, I've been watching David Cronenberg's Rabid, which is from probably about 1977.
Yeah.
And again, that's very dated now, probably, but I do like that. I do like Cronenberg's old movies that he did in the late 70s. He did one called Shivers as well, which I think had an American name attached to it for the Americans. But Rabid's about a woman who has an accident with her boyfriend on a motorbike outside a private plastic surgical place in the middle of nowhere. Mm-hmm. And they they do an operation on her, but she seems to... They skin graft her this stuff that they've made, and it makes her thirsty for blood. And what she's got under her armpit is this little phallus that comes out, because all she wants to do is drink blood. And every time she gets hold of someone and drinks their blood, they go into like a zombie state, typical 70s zombies.
Yeah.
And being the term of the phrase rabid, which is the name of the movie, the state's gone into lockdown because everyone's getting into this sort of rabid state of... with this hysteria going on. But, a good movie of its time. I do enjoy it. But David Cronenberg his craft and his work's really good. I think it's a taste not for everybody, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's done quite a few movies like that. He obviously did Scanners and a few other movies along the way, and I just think he's brilliant, personally. He's a great director. And something else I saw, which I'd like to see, I'm hoping it gets released. Now, there was a Kickstarter, I think, for this, and it's a new documentary about RoboCop. I don't know if you saw the tweets I put out on that. So they've made a new documentary bringing all the cast together, talking about the trials and tribulations of putting this film together. And I think they're going to I think they may well bring it out on Blu-ray as well.
That'd be good.
But I've seen some snippets of it with the guys now as they are in the movies. It's brilliant. It's a fantastic film. And I'll probably need to actually watch that again, I think, after seeing that.
What did you think of the new RoboCop? Did you see it?
I turned it off after 10, 15 minutes. Didn't like it. Just, give me the first two. I mean, I know they tried to milk RoboCop as a series, but the first two movies are pretty good. But after that, they went a bit downhill. I think there might have been 3 in total. I can't remember now.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're just classic movies from what the 80s gave us. There's so many decent films. You'd be here hours talking about them.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty good. Anyway, enough of what I've been rambling on about. I want to hear about a certain movie you saw at the cinema this week, and you've got something else there as well.
Yeah, I'll go on to something else first off. So I watched Locke. This was on Film 4. Have you ever heard of this one?
Not too sure. Let me have a look while you're chatting about it and I'll see if I remember
It's a Tom Hardy movie, and basically the only person on screen in the whole film is Tom Hardy, and he's sat in a car. So it's not your normal sort of Tom Hardy kind of movie for a start off. But basically he plays a construction manager whose life falls apart when he decides to head for London for the birth of a child that he's conceived with someone from a one-night stand. So in the space of the film, he manages to lose his job, his relationship with his wife comes to an end, and he becomes a father. All within the space of the thing. And all of the drama for the film is completely character-driven, completely and utterly. And basically he's just speaking to various different people on his mobile.
Yeah, I'm looking at the cast list.
Yeah. And on there, in that cast list, you got Tom Hardy, obviously, but also you've got Tom Holland, as in Spider-Man,
right.
Olivia Colman, and Andrew Scott, who was also on Spectre and Sherlock as Moriarty.
He was, yeah. And there's somebody, Ruth Wilson, I recognise her face.
Yeah.
She was in Luther.
Yeah.
Okay, so, yeah.
So there's lots of people there, but it's such an unusual thing because he decides to go for the birth of his child. When he closes down the site for the evening, immediately before the biggest concrete pour in Europe ever. And he's got like a night person on who's saying, right, I want you to check this, I want you to check that. He then realises that one of the documents he's asked his night manager to find is actually in his car, and he's halfway to London. Tom Hardy also uses a Welsh accent right throughout the whole thing. So he comes across as very Welsh, when he's talking. So, and, very sort of like softly mannered sort of tone as well. But, his manager finds out that he's, driving off to London, and he goes ballistic because, what the hell are you doing? The biggest pour in Europe, blah, blah, blah. And he said, well, I'm sorting it, And, anyway, I won't go on to the story too much, but it's just a fantastic piece of acting, to be honest. And I am not a big Tom Hardy fan at all, but I think he did a tremendously good job because it kept me watching it, this story. And that's got to be partly down to the script, which I think is really good. It's really cohesive, but also because of Tom's portrayal in that. So, because all that you're doing is just seeing different shots of him in the car and just talking. It doesn't, when you think about it on a piece of paper, you go to a film executive and say, I want to do a 2-hour film about Tom Hardy having a trip from Wales to London in the car, and he talks to people on the phone. How on earth did this movie ever get made? Do you know what I mean? But it is, but it was, and it worked so well. So it's well worth a look, if you can see it anywhere. So I won't go into any further than that, but what I will talk about is the film I've been to see at the cinema this week, which was Bohemian Rhapsody.
And to be honest, there's no real spoilers in this, is there?
Well, no, I don't think you can spoil it because, we all know what happens to Freddie Mercury. And it happened in 1991. So I'm sorry, but I'm afraid you can't have a spoiler in that sort of respect.
Being it's a biopic, it's different. Well,
it is. It's
if you don't want to hear about it though, or whatever's mentioned, you can just simply fast forward. But You know, if you're a Queen fan, you will know the ins and outs. There are probably a few surprises that you may not know about in the movie when the way it pans out, maybe.
Yeah.
And
But I mean, in terms of it, I'm not saying that you see Freddie Mercury die on the film.
No,
or
do you know
anything
what?
like
Do you know
that.
what? My only disappointment for this movie was that they didn't move forward further in the timeline.
Yeah, well, I'll come on to that. So, anyway, first off, what I will say is I have always been, for as long as I can remember music, a massive Queen fan. So, you know, basically, I think one of the earliest memories I have is when I was 4, and that was singing along to Queen songs. So, you know.
What ones would it have been at the age of 4?
Oh, probably Killer Queen or something like that.
Because I remember, it's funny, my first recollection was recording Bohemian Rhapsody when it was getting to number 1 in the charts.
Yeah.
On a tape cassette with a microphone at the speaker. And I can replay it back and play it again. Crazy.
Yeah. Well, you know, I've always been a massive, massive fan. But actually, yeah. So it would have been like a night at the opera sort of time, because that was recorded in 1975. So that would have been when I was 4.
Okay.
So, you know, like 39 and that sort of thing. But I have to admit, one of my favourite albums from Queen is actually one that probably most people don't like, which is the Hot Space one, because it's just so funky.
Which album's that?
Hot Space.
Okay.
You know, the one where they had the Andy Warhol sort of 4-colour pictures of the Queen group on the front cover.
Well, that was relatively one of the later ones, wasn't it?
Yeah. But, you know, I've always loved Queen, loved everything about their music, their portrayal. So, in terms of this as a review, you can view it in one of two ways. Either that, you know, I'm not being objective, or that it's actually a really good movie and it's actually got past my sort of like quality seal of approval in terms of what I would expect from it. You know, it can go in either way, can't it, really? Because I could say it's absolutely awful or it's absolutely brilliant either way. So basically what it does is it's a story of of Queen and how they grew from Smile to Queen and being the international rock sensation that they were. You know, they became before Freddie Mercury's ultimate demise in 24th of November 1991. So that was like, 37 years ago yesterday. Such a shame. A tragic loss to music. What I'm going to say is, I'm not going to go into the story because I really don't want to go into the ins and outs of it all, because I want people to enjoy it for themselves.
You see, I might end up having to wait for this movie. I don't think I won't get time to see it at the cinema.
Yeah.
Which is a real shame because I think that's the best place to because of the music.
I'll tell you, just take a day off and go to work from work and go and see it if you have to. This is my movie of the year.
Yeah.
The movie is absolutely amazing. It totally captures the feel and energy of the group and the era that it was all in as well. The cast is absolutely perfectly and immaculate. I mean, first off, when I'd heard that it was Rami Malek, who he's probably best known as Mr. Robot on Prime. And
he's also in the game, you know, the PlayStation game where they're in the log cabin.
Yeah.
He was in that as well, wasn't he?
He was, but I would say he's Until Dawn.
That's the entry, that's it, yeah.
But I would say he's probably most known to most people as, you know, Mr. Robot. When I heard he was cast after Sacha Baron Cohen was fired from the film.
Yeah, you see, I thought that was the first good choice. Obviously, you can't say because we won't see what he performed like, but I thought, that would be about right.
Do you know what? I think that they've definitely made the right choice in firing him. Because evidently, I mean, there's two ways around the story. First off, Sacha Baron Cohen says that Queen were painting themselves as too good, but the other side of the story is that he wasn't taking it seriously, and considering it's him, I could quite imagine that would be the case. to be honest. I'm sure that there's a bit of truth in both of them. But anyway, it doesn't matter because it doesn't matter. Rami Malek was absolutely perfect. I mean, really exceptional. The guy deserves an Oscar for his performance as Freddie Mercury. He perfectly captured Freddie in every way. When you watch as many videos of Freddie Mercury, whatever that I have, all of his little mannerisms and the energy from his performances, he really, really captured all of that on screen. And he was absolutely brilliant at it. Gwilyn Lee also played Brian May. He looked so convincing as well. Really, really good. As did Ben Hardy, who was Roger Taylor, and Joseph Mazzello, who played John Deacon. I mean, the highlight of the film is the reenactment of Live Aid, and the movie starts with it as well. And to be honest, everything builds up to it. And I remember watching that Live Aid performance live and watching Queen, and it was such a respectful reenactment of that performance. It was absolutely unreal. Sometimes you wouldn't believe that you're actually not watching Queen do it.
You see, I remember Live Aid well. I sat and watched that like the rest of the world did, actually, at the time. And it was like one of the highlights of my life for music. Yeah. That event, as much as I've been to so many concerts, which I've got one Friday actually, funnily enough, it's so... Everything about it, I know some of the bands and some of the people that were played may have not been your cup of tea, maybe.
Well, you can't like every group, but...
No, you can't. But I think the way that Bob Geldof and Midge put that together was just thoroughly outstanding, really. Obviously, the back of that we had, which was its anniversary this week, was obviously the Live Aid Christmas single as well. Yeah. They did. But Freddie Mercury's performance of controlling... I can't remember how many thousands were in that stadium because you wouldn't be able to do that anymore because of health and safety.
There was tens of thousands in there, wasn't there?
It was. I can't remember. I'd love to look up, curious to see how many were actually in there. But he controlled them like no one else has controlled an audience before. People have tried to do that since then. Yeah, but it ain't the same.
No, it's not. And to be honest, he was just such. It was fantastic. It really, I mean, the Live Aid, the original thing, Queen made that event. Sorry to all of the other artists, but Queen stole the show.
Well, no, I'm sorry. I mean, they probably stole the show, but I still feel that even Status Quo and everyone else that came on did their part.
They all did, and I'm not taking that away from them, but I'm saying that the standout performance in that whole thing was Queen.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was.
Yeah. And this recaptures that energy, and that's a really, really hard thing to capture.
So did he actually... I'm not sure, because I did catch some of the chat with him on Graham Norton just before the release of the movie over here. Yeah. Did he actually have to sing some of the songs or not? Did he mime them, or what did he do?
I think he probably sung some bits, but I think a lot of it was him miming to Freddie, because either that or else he's got a tremendously similar voice. Yeah. But, I mean, in terms of it as a movie, I think that probably it was quite heavily critical in some bits of Freddie's lifestyle. Well, but he did have he had the rock and roll lifestyle.
Yeah. He had there and back again, didn't he? But he would have been very much criticised for that lifestyle, probably more than he would have been doing now, funnily enough, because of the way the world's gone.
Yeah, no, but nobody would have batted an eyelid now. But back then, his lifestyle, it was hedonistic, wasn't it? Whereas nowadays, he's probably just a normal rock and roll sort of star. But, I mean... It portrays his anguish at his life as well, really well.
There is a couple of documentaries as well worth finding on the internet. There's a couple there that I think even might have been on Sky Arts, even if you find it on there. Yeah. Of actual documentaries and talking to Freddie Mercury, personally off stage. he had an incredible life.
Yeah, and
it's just a shame it finished so abruptly, to be honest.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you what as well, this is where Rami Malek, he absolutely captures that, because that's what I mean about all of his like little mannerisms, and like the way that he would like flick his fingers and things like that when he was like making a point and trying to brush off everything else. He would do. He held the mic in exactly the same way as Freddie would do. His poses were the same. He did an exceptionally good job.
Because it's funny, he talks differently to the way he sings, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. He's very...
Which is very gay, if we're going to say that, if we can say that.
Very sort of like lovey,
very feminine, I suppose, maybe is the word to use. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's not
because he would talk to you like a lovey, wouldn't he? Oh, darling, he would come and talk like that, and
I think that the term that we're trying to find, rather than saying very, whatever, is very exuberant and over the top. I think that that's what we mean by it. Very traditional sort of entertainer image sort of thing. Oh, darling, But he did have an edge to him as well. You could, some of the interviews that you listened to him, he did have an edge, and he had to survive in that sort of thing. But everything about this movie is a beautifully crafted movie. Like I said, I do think it maybe does portray the other members of the band a little bit more nicey than they should have been. To be honest,
well, we don't know some of the background, do we? We don't know the background to their arguments and ifs and buts. To when they were writing their songs and how they were portrayed to come out. Maybe I don't know.
We don't know, but it's an amazing film to watch, and I would really, really suggest to watch it. I was really disappointed that it didn't cover some of the sort of like highlight moments for me in terms of Queen's career, things like Flash Gordon, Highlander. It didn't cover, like the A Kind of Magic album and tour and all of that sort of thing. It would have been really nice, but
yeah, I mean, it depends. Obviously, you might get to. It would be great to see them recording some of that stuff in the studio when they were chatting about it. So that would bring it to life, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but I just think this is a film that I went in with really, really low expectations. I was thinking I'm frightened that this is going to be a cash grab, for want of a better term. I know that might sound wrong, but I was just, worried about what I would see. And I just was completely enthralled by this movie. I loved it.
Makes you want to listen to the music more again, doesn't it? I mean, I actually downloaded there's not a soundtrack, but there's a compilation with the cover of the movie they've done.
Yeah.
With some tracks they put together, which I've been listening to in the car. Because I did lose a lot of my vinyl at one part of my life.
Yeah.
And a lot of the vinyl I did lose was more my Queen vinyl, which I need to repurchase, unfortunately.
Fortunately, that's quite still available.
Well, they're repressing a lot of it now, and also in heavyweight, 180 grams, so it'll even sound even better. But they were a fantastic band of the time. I mean, I remember when they did the album The Works.
Oh, yes.
And they had I Want to Break Free, and the video for that with Freddie Mercury dressed as a woman hoovering in the shop in the house. Sorry. Yeah. And you had Roger Taylor dressed as a schoolgirl, and it took a second take to say, "Who's that?"
To be honest, he made an attractive woman as well, didn't he?
He did. It was like a double take. Who's that girl? I don't know who that is. And then you realise it was Roger Taylor.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, and of course that got Queen banned in America.
I can't remember if it did it really? I can't remember now. But
yeah, it got Queen banned in America. Did that video? The criticism over his lifestyle and stuff like that. Saying that it was all linked to that. So just. If you're a Queen fan, you have to see this film. I really do. It's great. Hats off to everybody involved. You can tell, when you can tell it's a movie that is a labour of love, probably the best way of describing it. And obviously their music accompanies the whole thing. And let's face it, this is a group that ceased being in November 1991 when the lead singer died. And he's still being played and he's still being used in like everything. That says something about that music.
Oh yeah, because like certain movies they do play his songs. Even one of your favourite movies, Shaun of the Dead, which is a great film.
Yeah,
and they have that song on the jukebox, don't they? Yeah. When they're storming the pub.
Yeah, exactly. But all of the films, I know that the modern thing nowadays is to go like retro with some of the songs, but Queen has never not been fashionable since they started. That's what I mean. It's not one that somebody's gone back like in Guardians of the Galaxy and thought, this is a great song, we need to bring this one back. Because they've always been there. They've never not gone. That's what I mean.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's funny because there's been certain movies have always had this Queen tracks have been in there.
Yeah.
Which remind you of who Queen was. And there'll probably be a big influx of sale of Queen CDs and what have you after seeing this film.
Definitely.
And it's funny because they had 3 greatest hits albums, didn't they?
Yeah.
And the original one, I had that first of all on tape and then on vinyl. The tape probably would have snapped by then, but the vinyl, it's one of those albums where when I'm listening to one of those Queen songs separately, I know the next track that's going to kick in on the greatest hits album because I played it that much.
I'm exactly the same. I used to sit down on the rocking chair in my mum's and dad's house when I was younger, and I used to just rock away listening to Queen. That was the one group that I listened to the most. I also listened to a lot of ABBA. I also listened to a lot of the Beatles back then. I occasionally listen to ABBA now and don't listen to the Beatles.
Well, they come back in a way, haven't they, because of Mamma Mia and stuff like that.
Again, I think that the other group that hasn't never gone away is ABBA. I think they've always been popular,
Well, you see, when you've had like the gay icons in the late 20th century.
Yeah.
ABBA always comes to mind about this. Even when Kylie Minogue and there was like a gay rally, they'd be singing Dancing Queen and there'd be stuff like that. And you had that Priscilla, the movie, the Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
Yeah.
What was it called again? And it was in, ABBA has had that same sort of scenario that Queen have had.
Yeah.
And where ABBA have had, they've had their Mamma Mia movies over the last few years. They had Prince, the Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, which was a musical again, which was made into a movie. And there was another Australian movie, I can't remember, Muriel's Wedding, that's what it was called, remember now. And that had a Queen sound, that had an ABBA soundtrack to that as well. But it just, I think, forget retro, 80s, 70s, doesn't go away because a lot of us are still alive and like to listen to that music.
But I still think that there are Queen fans now who were not alive when Freddie Mercury was.
Possibly, yeah. But you're going to get like ELO fans materialise from watching maybe Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Or they'll hear the track in Paul and, I might quite like that song.
Yeah.
I think...
But I think that there's more scope with Queen because, like I said, they've never gone away. They've always been in films. They've always been in TV shows, even right down to, things like Gladiator and stuff like that. They always played Another One Bites the Dust, didn't they, on Gladiator?
Yeah.
So, they've never gone. They've always been there. That's what I mean about it as a group because they were exceptional, whatever way round. And to be honest, who cares if any of them were gay or not gay, whatever religion that they were, wherever they came from, none of it matters. They were a fantastic group.
Yeah.
So, anyway, but that's, fantastic film. You gotta see it. That's my personal opinion.
Okie doke.
Yep.
Right, shall we? We're coming to questions left now, so let's kick into the listeners' questions.
John, what's happening to us?
Okay, so as usual, we've got Mark kicking us off. And his first question is there any game scheduled to be released in 2019 that you think won't make it?
Good question.
Does he mean not actually get released or get cancelled?
Yeah, or get delayed.
Is he pointing his finger at Crackdown?
Well, I'm sure that there will be. I'm not sure what. What about Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order? Because there's been nothing about that since it was announced.
Possibly. I can't. At this stage now, I wouldn't be able to think what would be delayed. But I'm sure at some point, because we've already had Anthem delayed, haven't we, already for next year? It was scheduled and rescheduled again, wasn't it?
That was another one that I was going to say. And also, I wouldn't be surprised if Biomutant didn't see light of day.
Yeah.
And maybe World War Z. I don't know why. I've not heard much about that, and it's scheduled for next year, so there's quite a few games that have not really had that much visibility, though.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, would you want to read question 2?
Okay, so what are your predictions for Crackdown 3, Anthem, and Metro Exodus? Big sellers or too much at once?
I don't know, because Anthem's going to be an online game. More like Destiny sort of idea. I think one or two of those is going to probably get the short end of the stick. I'm not sure which one. Depends, coming closer to the date with reviews, actually.
I think Crackdown, there'll be lots of players.
That's because it'll be on Game Pass.
Yeah, exactly. And also it's an exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
And so as a result of that, I think a lot of Xbox owners will buy it because it is exclusive. Anthem, I think that what we'll find is everybody will play it for about a month and then it'll dwindle away.
Yeah, I'm not too keen on EA's how EA are going to play this, to be honest. I'm probably more concerned for Anthem than I am for Crackdown 3, and I think Metro Exodus will do well, being a single-player game.
Well, looking at the queues of people wanting to play it, because it's had massive queues, and to be honest, I've never really liked the Metro games that much. So I don't really see what people see in them. But then again, I'm not really that much into the dystopian sort of future.
No, because it's sort of a Fallout sort of scenario, isn't it?
Yeah, I prefer the, not the rusty, horrible dystopian future. I prefer the sort of dystopian future where it's like an oppressive police state and that sort of thing. Or really an invasion, like XCOM and that sort of thing.
I don't know. It's we don't know too much about the game at the minute. We've only seen a couple of trailers, haven't we?
Yeah. I think they'll all be big sellers. I don't think any of them will be as big as Battlefield 5.
No. But, well, we'll see. Time will tell, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, not Battlefield. Call of Duty, rather, because evidently Call of Duty has outsold Red Dead Redemption.
I don't believe that in a second.
I saw something online saying it today.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. If we move to Facebook then.
Yeah.
So we start with Scott Kidd. Do you think Bethesda have now pushed their luck with the new game Fallout 76, as it is buggy and broken, and every review say it's like a beta version?
I think it's a normal Bethesda release.
I think Bethesda have tried in their best intentions to give us this game, but I feel they've been missing a few elements which they will then plug onto it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And it's a bold move for a franchise to do that. Normally, you would do this as an add-on to a release of one of its predecessors, maybe. So we'll see. I'm hoping it will move forward more, and we'll get to see some more goodness out of Fallout. To be honest,
do you not think that they're trying to sort of like recapture the Destiny 2 or Destiny sort of model, but not lose the players later on? Do you think that's what they're trying to go for?
Well, the thing is, they're doing well with the Elder Scrolls game online. So you can see why they wanted to give this one a go.
Yeah.
But maybe they've not worked out the best approach for the game. Because obviously it depends on viewers and people buying the game. And if people are going to be slagging it off, they've maybe got to rethink it a little bit. And that's what you can do with an MMO. You can actually twist it. Look at Destiny 2. That got slated when it first came out.
Mm.
Now down the line, they've changed the way it works. They've added some stuff back in from Destiny 1, and it's a fantastic game again. So all we can do is hope that Bethesda, in that same frame of mind, can do the same.
Yeah, possibly.
Okay, you want to move on?
Okay, so Alan Cochran has asked, I've just picked up a 4K Blu-ray player in the Black Friday sales. What is the nicest looking 4K movie you own?
Now, there's a question. No, not necessarily the nicest or the greatest film you've got in your collection as a 4K version.
Well, not the great. Yeah, I know what you mean.
I tell one that looks very good. It's still great. Is The Martian.
I've not got The Martian.
The Batman movies, which you're getting for Christmas, are.
Yeah.
What else have we got? Wonder Woman.
That looks good.
That does. Also, the second Guardians movie looks pretty cool as well.
Yes.
I'm not in front of my list. What I've got, it's in the other room, so I can't think.
The Matrix looks really good, and that's true 4K as well.
Yeah, because we've got a lot of fake 4K, haven't we?
Yeah. The last Star Trek movie looks really good. I think the other two were a bit of a waste of time getting them in 4K because they're just upscaled and it shows. I
don't own any of those in 4K. I've not, because I'll just wait for them to come down in price.
Yeah,
I've got Blu-ray, so I'm happy with that for the minute. What about any other Marvel movies, for example, you can think of?
Spider-Man, Homecoming.
Yeah.
Alien Covenant.
I'd say one that probably will look good, which is be released soon. It'll be the new Mission Impossible movie.
Yes. Yeah.
And also there's a box set, 4K box set out at the moment for those as well, if you want to pay 60 quid or whatever it is.
Yeah, well, I think it's cheaper actually to buy it on Apple, the iTunes store, and you get all 6 movies in 4K.
Yeah, but you'd never own them without Apple, do you?
No, that's the one thing that...
I'm going to say now, I don't think digital movies is the way to go anymore.
No, I don't. Physical movies all the way.
Yeah. It's okay to have a digital copy that comes with it.
Yeah, I think that they should give you a digital copy to come with it, but I think that you should should always have a physical movie, because if the service is closed down or if they take them off the service, then they'll just delete them from your account.
Yeah, and we know that that's been happening.
Yeah. Or if you don't log in a time that they think, then they'll just shut down your account, which is what happened to me with Sony. It was only when I threatened them with a data protection commissioner that they actually decided that they could reinstate my account, quite amazingly, without having me to prove the time and date and where I bought every one of the movies that were in that account, which was about 40 or 50 movies. Ridiculous.
I know, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. By the way, in terms of that, it was Call of Duty Black Ops 4 has completely dominated the NPD group reporting, with the company only tracking physical sales from retailers and not digital versions of games or PC versions of Black Ops 4. But they beat Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
Well, obviously that's across all formats. That's not on the PC because it's not news that any game would have outsold Red Dead Redemption 2 on the PC, seeing as it's not on there.
Yeah. Okay, so Craig Cole is asking us, not including family members, do you have any heroes or people you look up to or inspire to, past or present? That's an interesting question.
It is. I've had a sort of like a couple of people who have been kind of mentors to me, I would say, in the past.
Can't think. It's really sad that I can't think of anyone as such, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all had heroes in not the real world, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but I think he's meaning the real world.
No, I know. Yeah. No, I can't. I honestly can't think of anybody.
Well, for me, I used to have a line manager. His name was John Hutchinson. He was a chief inspector.
Yeah.
When I worked at NYP. And when I first worked with him, I couldn't stand him. To be honest.
I mean,
and then he went away.
There's people I could... I mean, you saying that, there's people that I trained with that when I was an apprentice, I would look up to those, I should imagine, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because I was learning my trade.
Yeah.
As an electrician.
Yeah. And
every now and then, it would come to me in my head, what are they doing now? Are they still alive? Do you know what I mean? Because they were I lived with them because when we used to do a lot of working away, we'd be staying away for like 2 weeks at a time, and we'd find probably like some sort of pub somewhere with bed and breakfast.
Yeah.
So we basically sleep, drink and eat together a lot. So, you know, those sort of people you sort of inspire, but they give you hope of what they've done or what they're doing on that you can do forward, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, who I was talking about, he, you know, I couldn't stand him when I first worked with him because I always used to turn around and say, well, we can't do that because that's unlawful. And then he'd say, I'd say it's illegal, and he'd say it's not illegal. Illegal's a sick bird. He'd always come back with it. He just used to get great on my nerves. But then he went away and then came back and was my line manager again. And I got on so much better with him. Matter of fact, we used to play badminton on lunchtime together as well. And he always used to beat me as well, which really used to frustrate me. But he taught me a lot, and I think he took me under his wing a little bit as well in terms of like kind of guiding me, because I was young, I was green, you know, I'd landed myself this really quite good job at the age of 24. I was the youngest person doing my job in the country in the police, you know, and it was you know, in the police, and it was just sort of probably a little bit out of my depth in some respects, but you know, he taught me a lot about sort of like tempering my approach, you know, and how to approach certain problems, which I still use that today. So a lot to thank him for, really. But I did look up to him, sort of thing, and I became good friends with him as well. You know, the time that we worked with each other. I think there's been a couple of people like that do come into your life and go out of your life. What I find now is that I'm that person, and I'm doing that with younger people.
When I know what you mean by that, but where, for example, I was training in an apprenticeship to be an electrician.
Yeah.
When I got my stripes, shall we say, and then I would go out on jobs with new young lads below my belt, and I would do the same to them. Do you know what I mean? And I wouldn't be as harsh, or we did have some fun with them. We couldn't do that these days, but we did have some fun with them, making them look like complete idiots, but that was part and parcel then. But no, I always looked out for them and helped them out and would do anything for them, you know. Be nice and kind.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But yeah, it's funny, but as you do get older, you do become the person that people come to rather than, you know, you're the...
Yeah, they do, yeah.
Yeah.
And when I'd have a 17-year-old that would come up to me and ask me questions or want my advice. Do you know what I mean? I suppose it's a privilege that they do that as well.
Yeah.
But anyway.
So, Albert Menifee, what are the two foods that you eat and secretly enjoy that absolutely do not normally go together?
Go on, you can answer my question for that one.
Anything with Marmite.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As well as also, I have actually tried peanut butter with jam.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Peanut butter, well, that's a very American thing, isn't it, as well?
It is, and it works. It does actually work.
Yeah. I don't like peanut butter, so I've never actually tried that.
I could eat that. I could just get a jar of it in a spoon and sit there and munch away.
No, not for me.
Bad for you.
very bad for you. For me, I would say fish with barbecue sauce. That sounds wrong.
No, not really, because you can have a barbecue. If you can barbecue fish.
No, I mean like the Heinz barbecue squidgy sauce. I don't mean cooking it on it.
No, I know what you mean, but you have a barbecue sauce, but you're on about nothing special sauce.
Yeah.
Like brown sauce, maybe.
No, I mean barbecue sauce, not brown sauce with it.
Okay.
That is gross.
Come on with brown sauce, mate.
Yeah, but no, it's nothing that's not wrong with brown sauce as long as it's got barbecue flavour in it. But yeah, that's two of the foods that I would mix, and I do mix quite often actually as well.
Well, Marmite with eggs, Marmite with scrambled eggs, Marmite with cheese,
Marmite with Marmite,
Marmite with Marmite. Just spoon out Marmite.
Yeah. You should just get it injected intravenously.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Marmite like me, because I do like to tweet them now and then. They like to retweet mine.
Yeah.
Okay, Paul Wilson. Well, we should probably get back on what we did before, but I'll read it out anyway. So, will Fallout 76 ever become the game that Bethesda envisioned? One game that springs to mind that leaves me some hope is the original release of No Man's Sky. The small team have really turned that title around and kept true to their promise on the game. And currently, and by the time you read this question, it's at a mere price of $19.99 on PC, and it looks like it might fall further in the meantime. But also, there's been some more extra content and updates for that as well, isn't there?
Yeah.
Believe it or not. And I think Bethesda will turn it around. It will take a bit of time. They've got the base game there now, but they need to sort of work on it a bit more, as we were saying earlier.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I just think that this is going to be like a Destiny sort of track for them. That's what I think.
There's a lot of Fallout. We should have looked at these earlier. There's another Fallout question at the bottom, or sort of semi-Fallout, but we'll get to that on the list as we go.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, go on.
Go for it. No, it's all right, go for it.
Nicky Wilson, what are some of your favourite martial arts movies, and who would win in a fight between Bruce Lee or Jackie Chan?
You go first.
Favourite martial arts movies? The Matrix. That's martial arts.
Okay, I will probably give you that.
Especially seeing as it says, I know Kung Fu. Thank you very much.
Yeah, but it's... I've got a couple to just play with. Now, I think Bruce Lee would still win.
I do. I would say I quite like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon as well.
But one of my favourites is from 1973.
Yeah.
And that is Enter the Dragon.
Yes, that's a classic movie.
And it's been mucked around with by some comedians in the time. And there's one film, if you can try and find it and check it out, it's called The Kentucky Fried Movie.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that? No. It's a movie with a load of sketches within the film itself. It's a comedy show.
Okay.
Or say a comedy film. And there's one sequence near the end which is like them taking the mick out of Enter the Dragon. It's funny as hell, and I really enjoyed it. But I like Bruce Lee; he's awesome.
I quite like Jackie Chan in like Police Quest as well.
Yeah,
used to watch those years ago.
He's done quite. Believe it or not, he has his own stunts, and he's done a hell of a lot of movies. If you go back to see what he's done,
yeah, and a lot of stunts.
All on his own. The Kentucky Fried Movie, by the way, came out in 1977.
Yeah.
So have a look on Internet Movie Database and you'll see. Even Bill Bixby was in that. And George Lazenby.
God.
But it's funny as hell. Really is.
Yeah.
Okay, next one.
Nicky's second one.
Second one. So, as we said earlier, the Lion King trailer has come out. So what's your favourite Walt Disney movie, but not a Marvel or Star Wars?
I would say some of my favourite Disney movies.
Or some of your favourite ones. Yeah, it don't have to be one, does it?
Yeah. Tron.
Yeah.
I quite like Tron Legacy as well, to be honest.
What about what Walt Disney stood for the movies he did at the time?
Some of my favourite ones was, I used to love The Lion King, but I loved The Lion King before they stuck the extra song in with Rowan Atkinson. I think that when they stuck that song in, it just ruined it.
Yeah.
But there's one bit where Rowan Atkinson's character is talking to Simba, and then he just starts going into this song number. It just doesn't work for me. It was never needed in there, and I just think it was wrong to put it in.
Well, I mean, Rowan Atkinson, actually, funny enough, that when you see the cast list for the new movie, for the voices, Rowan Atkinson isn't in it, is he?
No.
They've got someone else doing his role, but you have got a lot of the others still doing their
role.
I don't think everyone. I think even can't think of the woman's name off the top of my head. Is one of the hyenas. Mm-hmm. I don't think she's in it either.
Right.
But you see, I think of Walt Disney. I think of the older movies when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Being probably 10 years older than you.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember going to the cinema to see Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
Does that grate on you, that movie, or not?
I hate it.
You see, as a child, they were fun movies. And there's a few I saw, like Freaky Friday.
Yeah.
With a very young actress in that, who was in Silence of the Lambs, and it's just gone right out of my head. And she was in Bugs Malone as well.
Yeah, no.
Jodie Foster.
Right, okay, yeah.
Yeah, because they did a remake, but that wasn't her. Escape to Witch Mountain.
Yeah.
And they did a remake of that, so forget that. The original was the better one. And there was a few they did with animals. They did ones where they would have a narrator over watching nature and stuff like that, which was pretty good.
Yeah, I remember those, yeah.
And then there was The Incredible Journey.
Yes, classic film is that.
Remember that one?
Yeah.
And if we're going to talk Pixar, because they are a part of Disney now, aren't they?
They are.
There's one film they've never done a sequel to that I've always thought they should do. Do you know which one it is?
No. Ants.
Bugs Life.
Oh,
Bugs
Life, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, get it right way
around.
around.
I love that. I love that movie.
Yeah, well, maybe there will, because there is a bit of a revivalist thing going, isn't there now?
Yeah, and that was the only one that, out of all those Pixar movies they've done, because I really took a shine to all those films.
Yeah.
The Bugs Life, they never did a sequel to it.
See, I mean, I also like the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. It's certainly the first few of them. Anyway, I did like those. Beauty and the Beast, that was a good, some good songs in that as well.
Are you on about the remake or the original?
I'm talking about not the live action. And Aladdin.
Cartoon one,
yeah. The cartoon. And Aladdin as well.
I'll tell you another one I saw at the cinema was Lady and the Tramp as a kid.
I saw that on TV, but yeah, that was a good film.
And there's another cartoon one that I saw in the 70s. And I used to play it. I used to have it on, I don't think I've got it now. I had it on DVD. I think one of the kids probably took it or it went somewhere. I would know this film inside out. I could walk in and continue talking the script. I could shut my eyes. I know this film inside out, backwards, forwards. Mm-hmm. And it's the cartoon version of Robin Hood.
I don't know that film that well.
Do you know the one I'm on about?
I know the one that you're on about, yeah.
Because they're all foxes.
Yeah.
Robin Hood's a fox.
Yeah.
And you go, it's fantastic, that one.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic.
I'll tell you another film I quite like that Disney did, which was Maleficent.
Yeah, that works okay. That's more of a recent one.
It is, yeah. And also another Pixar one, Up. Because, the old bloke on Up, if my father-in-law, before he died, had have been made into a, CG character, that is exactly how he would have looked.
Yeah.
And I always say to my wife, there's Don.
Yeah. It's funny because there was a few, obviously, another one we haven't mentioned was Jungle Book.
Yeah, the original or the live action.
The original, of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And
I agree.
there was a few movies that they produced. I mean, even Kurt Russell was in a few of those when he was a child actor. And I think I'm trying to think. So The Incredible Journey, that was before I was born. That was 1963. And you had some, 101 Dalmatians comes to mind.
I used to love that.
There was The Parent Trap. That was a live action movie. I think Swiss Family Robinson.
Yeah.
That was another one. Any more I can think of? I think that's about it, really. But there were so many, and I used to go to the cinema a lot as a child and catch a lot of these old movies. But you had a TV series as well called The Wonderful World of Disney. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
So it's funny how the way that it's all changed now from what it was like as a child to what they're producing and what they're buying to bring out now to us, which is nothing of that charm anymore.
Absolutely. I'll tell you something else as well. There's another film. It never got great reviews, but I quite like it, and that was Tomorrowland.
I quite enjoyed that.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed it.
I think it didn't do too badly.
I think it did perform poorly, if I remember rightly.
Oh,
but
really?
I still quite enjoyed it. And also, I actually quite enjoyed Cars 1 and 2. I didn't enjoy Cars 3 at all.
Out of those Pixar movies?
Yeah.
Because some of them were made before Disney bought them, weren't they?
Yeah. Well, but they were still released as Disney movies.
Yeah, I think even now, even if the older ones are released, they now will have a Disney...
No, but before they were as well.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, they were released as Disney movies, but produced by Pixar.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the Cars franchise or whatever.
Mm.
But, I mean, Cars, the original one, it was the movie Doc Holliday, had Michael J. Fox in. It was basically the same story.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I know about there. Yeah.
Because, he gets held up in a town, ends up falling in love with a local, and then, goes and lives there in the end. Sorry if I've spoiled a 20-year-old, CGI animated movie for you then, but considering its age, you should have watched it by now. So, I quite like that one as a movie, but I also quite liked the cleverness of Cars 2 because, they had Michael Caine there as a sort of like James Bond figure, and having the character of Mater as just such a inept kind of guy who was completely out of his comfort zone, and, everybody thought he was like being really clever and he was just being thick, but the whole thing, I just found it quite clever, whereas 3 was just quite depressing.
I think Cars 1 was okay, but it didn't really float my boat. And there was a few Disney movies like Hercules that I just weren't up to scratch.
No, they weren't.
I think one of the ones that's outstanding and is now because of one man, and that's Aladdin.
Yes. Well, I said I loved Aladdin.
Did you? Oh, sorry,
yeah, I've got the soundtrack for that as well.
Yeah. And Monsters, Inc.
Yes. Yeah. Very good film.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure we might have missed out on a few. Pinocchio as well. Tarzan did very well.
Yeah, I must admit, though, I didn't really like either of those. And I'll tell you one Disney movie I really, really hate. Bambi.
Bedknobs and Broomsticks?
No, Bambi. Can't stand it. It makes me go to sleep. Honestly, it's better than a sleeping tablet for me.
Yeah.
I just find it so boring. And I know it's supposed to be a classic, but I'm sorry, I just don't like it at all. But yeah, I also don't like Bedknobs and Broomsticks either. I never went for those.
I don't like that woman. Sorry, I don't mind it to a certain degree because it's very the production and the bringing of cartoon and live action together, like they did with obviously Mary Poppins, was very clever for the day. But I can't stand Angela Lansbury. Sorry.
Fair enough.
Miss whatever. No, they actually did a TV cop show, didn't she? Detective show thing as well. Oh dear me, did my head in.
Yeah, and it's been some Disney movies, and you thought I think, why?
Actually, there's another one I'm thinking of that actually you mentioned. Flubber.
I've not seen that.
Sorry,
I've not seen it.
You've not seen Flubber?
No.
With Robin Williams?
No, never even heard of it.
Sorry, you're joking me.
No.
You want to check that one out, only because of who's in it as well.
Okay.
Have a look on Internet Movie Database. He's an inventor, and he invents this flubber stuff, like a goo.
Oh, I think I might remember it. I don't think I rated it at all.
But he's in it, and it works with him. Do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. Yeah.
Because there was another Walt Disney movie. I can't remember which one it was called. And it might have even had Kurt Russell in it, where they designed something similar, and whether or not it's just where they got it from, and they put this sort of gooey stuff on the plimp soles of this teenage kid, and he could jump really high.
Oh, isn't that toys?
No, this is a live action 60s movie they did, and they put some of this green flubber stuff on his shoes, and he was able to score great basketballs in school with it because of what they put on. It just rings a bell. I can't think when it was. But yeah. Anyway,
actually, I do remember it now. Didn't
the
like
brain
it.
cells now kicked in. You didn't like it.
I didn't like it. I had to see the cover art for it. Yeah, I didn't rate it at all.
Okay, not for everyone. Anyway, Last question.
Was it you or me who's doing it?
Okay, well, Oliver Brooks says, with Fallout 76 being poorly reviewed and with multiple discounts already, how long until it gets renamed Fallout 76% off? I have nothing to say on that question, Oliver. I'm sorry.
I would say 1st of December.
No, was it Black Friday, wasn't it?
No, it was 49% off.
Yeah. Anyway.
That's it.
Come to the end of the show. That's it. It's all done and dusted. Great. And you got anything happening this week at all? Anything going on?
No, not really.
For next week?
Not really. Just pretty bog standard sort of week.
Yeah. I'm going to a concert on Friday night.
And what concert is it? This one?
I'm going to be seeing Mid-Year with Human League.
Very good.
So that would be good. And I've been seeing some of the people on YouTube for Midge, and he's awesome. And I saw some of that, and he does really well. And the Human League, as I missed out on seeing them in the 80s when I had a car accident where I went through a house with a car, and I was laid up with my back because of it. I never got to go to the concert.
Right.
So it's nice that I'm actually going to be going this time, because that was a bit of a bummer, actually, having the tickets in my pocket and couldn't use them because I was laid up.
Yeah, I can imagine that would be upsetting.
It was. There was only a few concerts I missed out because of things like this. I crashed in a lot of houses. I wasn't the driver, by the way.
Yeah. To be honest, it's my biggest regret that I never saw Queen live in person.
Yeah, no, I didn't get... My brother went to see It's Kind of Magic tour at Wembley.
Yeah.
I never got to go, but because it was me that would go to gigs all the time. In the 80s, I was going every month, but it's one I never got to go to for whatever reason. But at least I'm going to be able to go and see the Human League, and they're pretty cool. So for us mature oldies, as some people might say.
Indeed.
Anyway, outros. So my Twitter handle is @Steve007. PSN ID, the real Steve007. Xbox, Steve007. Email at steve07@popculturegamers.co.uk. And yours are, Haydn?
You can get hold of me by just about everywhere by looking for HERJ UK.
Except for the telephone.
Except for the telephone. I dare say one of these days probably be able to get me that way as well. If you want to get in contact with the show, you can also contact podcast at popculturegamers.co.uk. We're on Facebook as well, so come along and join our group. We have a good community there. And there's also our website, popculturegamers.podbean.com. And don't forget, we're also on Twitter at popculturegamer. No S.
And I've got an Instagram account, which I do use for it as well.
Yes, he does.
Which is at Steve00764, I think. 0764, I think it is, yeah. But I'm sure you can ask me, and I'll find it and dig it out for you. There's one thing I want to say, because I never mentioned to do this, but I'm going to ask. I'm not going to hand this code out because I want someone that wants it to have it, and because it's a soundtrack. And I've got a spare code for the latest Halloween movie. So the John Carpenter score that went with the film, I've got an extra code for that. So if someone wants to DM me on Twitter that's interested, first person can have it.
I'm assuming that means it's open to me as well, because you've not asked me.
Well, you don't know if you listen to sound. Well, there you go. You've got to DM me on Twitter. First person to do that.
I think that's not very fair to the listeners, though.
I don't think you'd play it as often.
Probably not.
But anyone that's a John Carpenter fan, I'm willing to give a sec. I've got 2 copies of the album, so I've got 2 codes. So yeah. So anyone's interested, just give me a shout on Twitter. Okay, all done then.
Yes, indeed. For another show.
Yeah. So as I say, it's a good night from me,
and it's a good night from him.
Good night.
Good night.
You are about to witness history in the making.